Every reef tank owner obsesses over water parameters, alkalinity, calcium, magnesium, the numbers. But here's what nobody talks about. Your tank's real health isn't in those numbers. It's in the invisible army of microorganisms you can't see. Hey, welcome back to RIMPODS. Today we're going deep, literally, into the biology that keeps reef aquariums alive. Not the chemistry, not the equipment, the actual living ecosystem inside your tank. Whether you're running a 20-gallon nano or a 200-gallon mixed reef, what I'm about to show you will change how you think about reef keeping forever. Look at your reef tank. What do you see? Coral, fish, live rock, maybe some macroalgae, but that's maybe 1% of what's actually alive in there. The other 99% is microscopic. We're talking about bacteria, archaea, protozoa, copepods, rotifers, nematodes, and hundreds of other organisms you'd need a microscope to identify. Together, they form what marine biologists call the microbial loop, and it's the single most important system in your aquarium. Here's how it works. Fish produce waste, ammonia. The classic approach is cycle your tank, add bacteria, ammonia goes to nitrite, then nitrate. But that's the simplified kindergarten version. The real microbial loop is far more complex and far more efficient. Naturally occurring bacteria don't just convert ammonia to nitrate. Different species handle different stages. Some produce nitrite, others handle nitrate reduction. Some bacteria actually consume organic compounds directly, dissolved organic matter, amino acids, fatty acids, before they even break down into ammonia. And then there's the bacterial biofilm on every surface of your live rock. This biofilm is home to protozoa and microalgae that graze on it, keeping the bacterial population in check. Without grazers, biofilm becomes slimy and anaerobic. With grazers, it stays thin, oxygenated, and productive. This is your tank's invisible immune system. In the ocean, coral reefs don't survive on flake food and frozen mysis. They survive on a continuous rain of microscopic food, copepods, rotifers, phytoplankton, bacterioplankton, tiny organisms that form the base of the food web. Your home reef tank usually has none of this. Here's why. Most reef tanks are set up with sterile equipment. Clean substrate, cured live rock that's been sitting in a bucket for weeks, RODI water that's been stripped of everything. You've essentially created a biological desert and then tried to keep coral alive in it. The coral are E-ing, not for bigger food items. They can get those from your feeding. They're E-ing for the microscopic food web that keeps their tissue healthy, their immune system strong, and their colors vibrant. Studies from the Smithsonian Marine Station and the Hawaii Institute of Marine Biology have shown that corals derive up to 40% of their nutrition from dissolved organic matter, processed by bacteria, and passed up the food chain through microalgae and microinvertebrates. 40%. That's not a rounding error. That's nearly half of what your coral needs to thrive. And what's the first thing most reef keepers do? They run the most aggressive protein skimmer they can find, which strips the water column of exactly these organisms. They dose chemicals instead of biology. They treat the symptom while destroying the cause. Now, I'm not saying chemical dosing is evil. When your alkalinity drops to 6 DKH and your coral are bleaching, you need to act fast. Chemical dosing is emergency medicine, but it's not healthcare. Here's the fundamental problem. Chemical dosing treats the water, not the ecosystem. You can maintain perfect alkalinity, calcium, and magnesium levels 24/7. But if your tank has no biological processing of waste, you're just adding chemicals on top of accumulating toxins. Think of it like this. Chemical dosing is like taking painkillers for a broken leg. It masks the symptom. What your tank actually needs is the biological equivalent of setting the bone and letting it heal. Real reef tanks, the ones that survive for decades, not just years, have something in common. They've established a robust population of microorganisms that process waste, produce natural food, and maintain water quality through biology, not chemistry. These tanks don't need daily alkalinity testing. They don't need calcium reactors running 24/7. Their biology handles the heavy lifting. The reef keeper just needs to maintain the conditions that let the biology work. So how do you actually build this in your tank? 3 pillars. Pillar 1. Diverse live rock. Not the dry, bleached stuff from the box store. Real live rock, or better yet, rock colonized with a diverse microbial community. If you can get rock from an established tank, that's gold. It comes preloaded with bacteria, copepods, and the full microbial ecosystem. Pillar 2. Live food introduction. This is where copepods and rotifers come in. Adding live copepods to your tank isn't just about feeding your fish or coral. It's about establishing a grazing population that keeps bacterial biofilm in check, produces natural waste that feeds other organisms, and forms the base of your food web. Pillar 3. Stop sterilizing everything. Your UV sterilizer running 24/7, your ozone system, your aggressive protein skimmer. These are all tools that strip your water column of the very organisms your tank needs. Use them surgically, during disease outbreaks, during new additions, not as permanent fixtures. The goal is to create a balanced ecosystem where biology does the work and chemistry follows naturally. Here's the truth nobody wants to hear. Building real biology takes time. You're not going to add copepods on Monday and see results by Friday. This is a 3 to 6 month process. Month 1, 2, your bacterial populations are establishing. You might see more microalgae growth on your rocks. Good sign. Copepods are breeding. The microfauna is multiplying. Month 3 to 4, water quality stabilizes. You'll notice your alkalinity and calcium are more stable between water changes. Your coral tissue looks healthier, more polyp extension, better coloration. Month 5 to 6, the system is self-sustaining. You're doing less chemical dosing. Water parameters are rock solid. Your coral are growing faster because they're getting the nutrition biology provides, not just the minerals chemistry provides. The reef tanks that crash after 2 years, they never build biology. They ran on chemicals from day one. When something goes wrong, a power outage, a heater malfunction, a busy week where you skip maintenance, there's no biological buffer. The system collapses. The reef tanks that thrive for 10, 15, 20 years, they're running on biology. The reef keeper just maintains conditions. The ecosystem does the work. If you want to start building real biology in your reef tank, start with live copepods and rotifers. That's exactly what we produce at RIMPODS. Premium live food organisms bred for reef aquariums. Visit rimpods.com to learn more. And if this video changed how you think about reef keeping, hit subscribe. We've got a lot more coming on the science of reef biology. Thanks for watching. Keep building biology, not just chemistry. I'll see you in the next one. Total word count, 1,400 words. Estimated duration, 10 to 12 minutes. At conversational pace. Chapter timestamps, 0130, 330, 530, 700, 900, 1030. B-roll needs microscope shots of copepods, coral close-ups, tank maintenance, ocean reef footage, ZTA.